Jude Philp is preparing precious cargo for a long journey ahead.
So that involves ensuring that they're safe within the box, that nothing will go missing from their lower jaws, and that when people see them in Madang, they are appropriately prepared. You'll be able to see here some Russian wording that says Panake from Gorendu village.
For more than a century, the remains of 16 ancestors from the Rai Coast in Papua New Guinea have been held in Australian museums. They were collected by Russian explorer Miklouho-Maclay.
He went across different islands in the Pacific, but it's his 2 years on the Rai Coast of Madang that he's most famous for.
He was an early follower of Charles Darwin and a friend of Leo Tolstoy.
From the records that I read and from the images that I've seen, I'd say he was a really dedicated, highly intelligent man who was eccentric for his time.
He wanted to prove that people from different races belonged to the same species.
There was a common belief that people of colour were lesser people, and even an idea that they were different species. And he was one of those people who thought, well, if I prove it through science, those people can't debate me, because science is the way that you can be sure of things.
Now, the Chow Chak Wing Museum at the University of Sydney is handing over their care.
So we received this request in November of 2023 for the return of 16 ancestors from Astrolabe Bay, from the Chow Chak Wing Museum to there. Yeah, I'm excited. It's a big, big responsibility, so excited doesn't quite capture it.
3,000 kilometres away in the PNG province of Madang, a descendant of explorer Miklouho-Maclay is waiting for the skulls to arrive.
And I think for families of Rai Coast from Papua New Guineans, it is very important when we show that we save their history and we think about their history and we are proud of their history, and it is important.
Retracing his great-great-uncle's footsteps, Nikolai Jr. helped the villagers compose the request for their ancestors to be returned.
I think it is work which started firstly because locals really want to get their ancestor and buried its motherland.
After more than a week of travelling, first by road, then by plane, the remains have arrived in PNG for the final leg of their trip, this time by boat.
Nikolai Miklouho-Maclay first made his journey along the Rai Coast in 1871, visiting and getting to know villagers. These human remains were given to him by 6 villagers in the area in 1876. Now, almost 150 years later, they're finally returning home.
When they left here, the skulls left here, we know nothing. And my ancestor didn't tell me anything about it.
Arcel Tui first learnt about his ancestors' skulls when Nikolai Jr. visited him last year.
I was talking with Junior Maklay, and he told me, I will call the names, some of them. So he said, I'll call one name, and he said, Peneki.
It's a name he recognised instantly.
It is in my clan, my tribe, and we are still preserving the names, carrying from generation to generation.
Arcel's ancestor helped the Russian explorer win the trust of locals, who eventually gifted him the skulls. More than a century later, the two families still share a strong bond.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the time our friendship will be there.
I like this job, I like this research, I like this people, love these people, and that's why I do this.
The Chow Chak Wing Museum still holds other human remains from the Pacific. Trying to locate their descendants and send them home is a difficult task.
We will, as part of our international responsibilities, treat any request for repatriation seriously. Any community that's receiving their ancestors home again, this is the feeling that they have. There's great sadness, there's confusion at first, and then relief and joy.
Me feeling worried. Why? Because I'm losing me. I go out. I stop long ground belong all white man. Now I come back again. Na mi hamamas. So me like him also. I must go inside the ground belong me by me hamamas. I no can angamat mo.